In the heart of a city that wears a crown, stood a hospital once worn and brown. Linares, they called it born of grace, now gilded under DNS vast embrace. From humble walls to empire vast, built by hands that outpaced the past, mother, fierce her mind, a flame, father, a healer, carved in fame. Together, they bore a son of might, Yu Sejun, born under moonlight. An alpha child, wrapped in gold, with instincts fierce and silence cold. Someone lead, that's what they say, but no one taught him how to stay. While others howled for rank and fight, he lived behind a velvet night. The headlines speak in polished tones, DN returns what it once had grown. Donations vast, reputations clean, but never what lies in between. Post appears raw and cruel, we were in school. He ruled the school, beating, bullying all in stride. He wore his alpha like a crown of pride. I'm just a beta, the poster writes, but even we hear whispers at night. His parents shine, but he was feared, truth long buried has now appeared. And faceless voices flood the thread, he's just a rich brat, born and fed. Violence lingers in alpha blood, while doubt swells up in quiet flood. Yet one voice says, that's not true. I saw him break, like I saw you. Behind the curtain, an alpha waits, not for power, not for fates, but for a world that might ask, why? Instead of pointing as they pass by, he wears the title none can see, crown of instincts silently. Not every alpha is born too raw, some only wish to be something more. So judge him not by scent or name, nor trap him in your ruthless game. Behind the wealth, the class, the fight, there may still burn a softer light. An alpha boy in a golden cage, growing older, page by page. Then the scene shifted to the dining table. The clink of cutlery was the only sound between them, save for the silent storm that churned beneath Seo Isul's calm surface. Yu Sejun glanced up from his plate, his voice steady but curious. How does it taste? Did you not like the food? Seo Isul blinked as if waking from a fog. Oh, no, it's delicious. Sejun's shoulders relaxed slightly, the corners of his mouth lifting ever so subtly. In that case, thank God. Isul offered a small smile, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. I will fill my stomach first, then I will think. As if nourishment might also fill the hollow fear gnawing inside him. After meal, the hush of a house holding its breath. Seo Isul sank into the couch like a stone slipping into deep water, trying to disappear into the cushions. Sejun stood by the dining table, framed in warm light like a portrait distant, unreadable. I eat a lot, because I'm fat, Isul muttered to himself, his voice half laced with irony, half with shame. I'm absolutely full, but the weight in his chest remained untouched by food. His eyes flicked to Sejun. He hasn't spoken much from the beginning. Quiet like a cliff edge, beautiful, but dangerous. I should return the favor, but I'm afraid, cruel fantasy played in his head. Sejun towering over him, voice cold as steel, if you have any sense, you would think about compensation. I saved your life. Do you even know who I am? Snapping out of it, he nearly jumped when Sejun approached, offering a cup. What are you thinking so much about? He asked, calm as ever. Seo Isul looked away, gripping the cup like a lifeline. Nothing. Sejun sat next to him, the space between them still wide enough to echo. Seo Isul thought, this mistake, it started with me. Maybe I should say it first. Maybe confession is the only way to stop drowning. He spoke, each word heavy with guilt. I feel guilty. I don't know when my heat cycle will return. But I will do whatever you say. Just please don't sue me. Then, in a softer tone, almost teasing, I don't have anything to repay your kindness with. Sejun's gaze softened, the faintest trace of regret brushing his features. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel like that. You have been thinking about this the whole time. That is ridiculous. Seo Isul gave a bitter laugh. It's my fault again, isn't it? Sejun leaned forward slightly, voice low. Are you sure you will do whatever I say? Isul nodded. Yes, as long as it doesn't involve money. Because money was something he never had, not in his wallet, not in his worth. There was a pause, breath, like the universe hesitating. Then Sejun asked, "Where do you live?" Isyul faltered, "I will look for a place." Sejun's voice was gentle but firm, "Then stay here. For a while, there are plenty of empty rooms. There is a maid during the day. You will be comfortable." Seo Isyul stared at him, something fragile cracking behind his eyes. "You want me to stay here? What is it you really want?" Then, more to himself, a whisper wrapped in a lifetime of wounds, "So far everyone's been the same." Then we are shown flashback, where Seo Isyul sits at the bar, the amber light casting long shadows over the counter. The glass in their hand feels heavier than it should, like it's holding not just liquor, but memories. Man beside them leans in, voice smooth like poisoned honey. Man said, "Your pheromone scent, it's like a drug. Man can't help themselves around you." Isyul doesn't respond. The man presses closer, like a tide that doesn't ask permission before drowning you. Man said, "I really like you, Seo Isyul. Why don't we live together?" He smiles, crescent moon hanging above a field of thorns. Man said, "I will treat you well. Just serve me well in return." Coming back to the present, Seo Isyul stands frozen in Yoo Sejun's apartment. The warmth of the room feels foreign, like wearing someone else's skin. Seo Isyul said, "Absolutely not." Yoo Sejun's expression flickers, not hurt, just understanding. Like he is used to thunder clouds. Yoo Sejun said, "If you don't like it, I won't force you." Isyul looks down. Their voice is flat, but the words weigh like lead. Seo Isyul said, "I have no place to go. And no money either." But even in admitting that, they glance at him and see something unexpected. Seo Isyul murmur, "Why does he look like the one being abandoned? Like a window watching the rain fall, hoping it will come inside." Seo Isyul out loud, "But for now, I will stay. Until I figure out where I should go." Sejun's face blooms with relief, like spring cracking through the frost. Yoo Sejun said, "Really? You mean it?" Seo Isyul watches him unsure whether to smile or run. Seo Isyul whisper, "He looks like a puppy, left alone too long but still willing to trust." Sejun reaches out, gently taking Isyul's hand as if afraid it might vanish. Yoo Sejun said, "Thank you for trusting me. Please, be comfortable here." Isyul's chest tightens, heartbeat stirs, unexpected, uninvited. Seo Isyul said to himself, "My heart, it's beating like wings trapped in a jar. Have I gone mad?" They turn away quickly, as if facing him too long might burn. Seo Isyul said, "After everything that happened, wake up, Seo Isyul." Sejun watches, quiet as snowfall. Yoo Sejun softly said, "He grew up like this. And still nothing's changed. That hurts." Then again flashbacks start, where we see a dusty street, sun-bleached and still. Young boy, Yoo Sejun, peeks from behind a wall, flowers stretching toward light. Seo Isyul sits on the steps of a crumbling building, knees hugged to their chest, a figure small enough to be forgotten by the world. Yoo Sejun gently said, "Hello." Isyul lifts their head, eyes wary like a stray cat. Yoo Sejun said, "You're live here."